Was he at the very first one?
No, he came to the third one was the first one we had him come to.
Yeah. Why do an event? Why do your own live event?
So we'd done events in the past. I know that like events are good, but I'd sworn off them because the last event we did, I think we sold 300 or 400 tickets and less than 100 people showed up. And I was like so embarrassed. I was like, we'll never do events again. And as soon as ClickFunnels launched and was growing, everyone's like, we want to do a meetup. We should do an event. All the customers kept asking. And I didn't really want to do it. But at the same time, I was launching my book and I'd won a Ferrari in this affiliate contest. So I was like, what if we did an event and we had the Ferrari there and then we gave it away? And then we had other ideas for like giving away other cars, and it just became this like big exciting thing that eventually turned into an event. And that was the first Funnel Hacking Live event in Vegas. And we had about 600 people at that one that showed up, and that's where it all started.
And then it built how many people are you up to now?
Last year we had 3,500 people, and we're on track to have about 5,000 at this year's event.
5,000. Yeah.
And those aren't free tickets. These tickets are $1,000, so it's a lot.
So how much is that in total revenue?
From the event, So ticket sales, last year was 3.5 million. This year will be over 5. But then at the event, we sell coaching. So last year we made 13 million in coaching sales at the event as well.
Wow. Would you come up here for a second, Dave? Do you guys know Dave? Yeah, everyone knows Dave. Dave, you know what was amazing? That's amazing.
I don't know who that is.
Cat call. I saw a video. You guys have this vlog now, beautifully shot vlog. You guys went to Salesforce's conference. You're looking at the booths. And in the video, do you remember what you did as you saw the different booths?
I think that when I went and asked what the price of each of the booths were.
Yes, and then you multiply it. He's like, you're not enjoying the event. You're calculating in your head. How much? 10,000, 100. That's like, wow, right? You do this all the time.
Yeah.
If this was
a lot of money in an event like that.
And if this was not your event, you would be doing the same calculation, trying to figure out how much they brought in today. Wowee. All right. When you went to Salesforce, did you calculate how much money they probably did from their event?
We were doing that the whole time. Absolutely.
You saw the building. You had to know.
Oh my gosh. 61 stories.
Why? Why do you guys want to know that? How does that inform? I want to understand your drive as a company, and I feel like this is a part of it. Figuring out how much money other people are making, using that for fuel somehow. Tell me.
I think it actually goes back to Russell and his wrestling days. We had the experience of, going to Chicago right after that, and super just exhausted. And it was one of those things where he literally landed, we walked down, and we're underneath the tarmac, and all of a sudden, Russell goes from just being totally exhausted to a massive state change where he literally is right back where he was with his dad. And he and his dad were walking that same path to go to, I think it was Nationals. And I saw Dan Usher, who was doing the filming, capturing that moment. And it's that type of a thing for Russell where all of a sudden, it's the dream where as soon as you see it, it can then happen. And Russell's been just amazing at modeling. And again, it's the whole idea as far as just going at a rapid speed. I mean, it's ready, fire, aim.
It's not you gawking at the Salesforce. What's the Salesforce event called?
Dreamforce.
Dreamforce. It's not you gawking at how well Salesforce's event, Dreamforce, is doing. It's not you having envy or just curiosity. It's you saying,
it's possible.
This is us. That's it.
It's totally possible.
It's totally possible. We could get there.
Yeah.
And when you're sizing up the building, you even found out how much a building costs. Like, who does that? Most people go, where's the bathroom? How much is the building
There's
cost?
a number.
It's you saying, we could maybe have that.
We can't have that, yeah.
Got it. All right. And so let's go back a little bit. I asked you about traffic and conversion because the very first traffic and conversion conference you went to, you guys were nobodies. Nobody came and saw you.
We were putting out the North 40 pasture way far away.
And some people would say, one day I'll get there. You told Russell, today we're going to get there.
Well, Russell he was speaking. And so whenever you're speaking at an event, it's important you fill a room like this. And there's nothing worse than having an event and having no one show up. It's just the worst feeling in the world. And so he's like, oh, gosh, all we need is I got to find some way of getting people into the event. He says, I wish we had like some girls who could just hand out T-shirts or just do something. And I was like, we're in San Diego. That's like my hometown.
Dave's like, how many do you need? That's all he said.
It's just a number. It comes down to a number. How many do you want? And so we ended up having, within an hour or so, we had 5 girls there who were more than happy to dance around and give out t-shirts and fill the room.
And the room was full.
Packed.
Packed. And why wouldn't you say one day, the next time we come to traffic and conversion, the 10th time we're going to do it? Why did it have to be right there?
It's always now.
It's always now.
It's always now.
It's always now. It's never going to be the next funnel. It's never going to be the next product launch. Like, I'm going to do whatever we can right now, and the next one, and the next one. That's it. That's
Absolutely.
who you are.
That's how it works.
And now you're a partner in the business?
Yes.
$83 million so far this year. You got a piece of that?
Yes. Do I? Yeah. Just checking.
Do you get to take profits home now?
We do.
You do. You personally do.
Yes.
Are you a millionaire?
Things are really good.
Millionaire good from ClickFunnels?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And you're another one. I was driving, I said, what was it about Russell that made you work for him? What was it? And you said, I've never seen anyone implement like him. Give me an example of early days, something that he implemented. You know what? Forget that. Let's not go back to Russell. As a team, you guys have gotten really good at implementing. Give me an example of one thing that you're just stunned by. We did it. It came out of nowhere. We could have been distracted by funnel software. We could have been distracted by the next book. We did this thing. What is it?
You're here on this stage with JP, and this was what, 6 weeks ago?
And this whole thing just came from an idea. I heard use Voxer. Why do you use Voxer? Not Slack.
I don't know.
Because you'd like to talk into it.
Yeah, you can fast forward, you can listen to 4x speed, you can forward the messages to people really easily. It's awesome.
And it's just train of thought. Boom. Here's what I think we're going to... No, it's not that. I heard I have a secret project.
I'll tell you guys about it later. And they all start freaking out. Tell us now.
Secret project. I don't know what it is. It's going to be exciting. They don't know what it is. It's going to be
Do you
exciting.
know how it started, this one? I was cleaning my wrestling room listening to you, and you were, I don't know whose event it was, but you were at a campfire, it sounded like, and you were doing something like this, and I was like, I want my own campfire chat to tell our story. And then I was like, Dave, we should do it. And then now we're here. So thanks for coming to our campfire.
That's how it happens.
And that's exciting to this day. All right. Thank you. Give him a big round. Thank you so much. You know what? I didn't mean for this to come on stage, but I'm glad that it is. This made you laugh when you accidentally saw it earlier too. Why is this making you laugh? What is it?
So we're not shy about our competitors, even when they're our friends. So one of the companies we're crossing out is his. So that's why it's funny.
It's one of my companies, and then that's Bot Academy there. It's also a company I invest in. That Octopus is ManyChat. I've been a very big angel investor and supporter of theirs. I'm not at all insulted by that. I'm curious about it. You guys come across as such nice, happy-go-lucky guys. Dave asked me if I want water. I said, Dave, I can't have you give me any more things. I feel uncomfortable. I'm a New Yorker. Punch me, please. So he goes, okay, but one more thing. I'm going to give you socks. So give me socks. So you really, but still, you have murder in your eyes sometimes. Like, you're crossing out everybody. This is part of your culture. Why?
It comes back, for me, it's wrestling, right? Like when I was wrestling, it was not, I don't know, there's different mentalities, right? Like, and I did a podcast on this one time. I think I offended some people, so I apologize in advance. But like if you're in a band, right? Everyone gets together and you play together and you harmonize and it's beautiful, right? When you're a wrestler, you don't do that. Like, you know, you walk in every day and you're like, those are the two guys I have to beat to be varsity. And then after you do that, then you walk in and you're like, hey, who do the people I have to beat to be the region champ and then state champ and then the national champ? And so for me, my entire 15 years of my life, like all my focus was like, who's the next person on the rung that I have to beat? And it's studying them, learning about them, figuring out their moves, figuring out what they're good at, what they're bad at, so we can beat them. And then we beat them and go to the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And so, but it was never negative for me. It was competition. Like half the guys were my friends and they were doing the same thing to me, and we're doing the same thing to them. And so I come from a hyper-competitive world where that's everything we do. And I feel bad now because in business, a lot of people we compete against aren't competitive, and I forget that sometimes, and some people don't appreciate it. But it's like that's the drive. It's just like, who do we like? If I don't have someone to, there's not someone we're driving towards, then there's not a point for me.
And even if I was hurt, you'd say, I accept it. I'm sorry you're hurt, Andrew. I still care and love you. We're gonna crush you. Yeah, that's still there.
Yeah, and I had someone on. So obviously, Infusionsoft was one of our people we were targeting for a long, long time. And I had a call with Clay, and someone on his team asked me like, "Why do you hate Infusionsoft so much?" I was like, "No, I don't. No, you don't understand. I don't hate. I gotta love Infusionsoft. I'm grateful for lead pages. I'm grateful for like." And I told him like, "Have you guys seen The Dark Knight? Like my favorite movie of all time." And it's the part where Batman and Joker are there, and Batman's like, asks the Joker, like, why are you trying to kill me? And the Joker starts laughing. He's like, I'm not trying to kill you. Like, the reason why I do this is because of you. Like, if I didn't have you, there's no purpose behind it. And so for me, it's like, if I don't have someone to compete against, like, why are we playing the game? And so for me, that's
It's
why
not
we're
enough to
always
say.
looking.
It's not enough to just say we're playing the game because we want to help the next entrepreneur, the next person who's sick and needs to create a new. No, it's not.
That's a big part of it, but like, yeah, but there's something, I don't know.
It's not
just
enough.
My
It's
whole
gotta be
life,
both.
The competition is what drives me for sure.
And just like you're wrestling with someone trying to beat them, but you don't hate them. You're not going to their house and break it down.
Everyone we wrestle, like we were friends afterwards. We were on the same freestyle and Greco teams later in the season, but when we're competing, like we're competing and everyone's going all at it.
Everyone's going Aladdin. That's an interesting way to end it. Can I get you to come up here, John? Because I got to get you to explain something to me. So I told you I was online the other day. Yeah, give him a big round. I was online the other day. I don't even know what I clicked. I clicked something, and then I saw that Russell's a great webinar person. Everyone keeps telling me that. I go, all right, I got to find out how he does it. So I click over. All right, just give your email address and you can find out how. All right, I'll give my email address to find out how he became such a great webinar presenter. And just give a credit card. It's only $4.95, so it comes in the mail. Go, comes in the mail. That's pretty cool. Nothing comes in the mail anymore. Here's my credit card. Goes, all right, it's going to mail it out. Would you also like to learn how to use these slides? $400. I go, no, I'm done. Welcome to the funnel. It says, I'm done. But I'm going to put in Evernote a link to this page so I don't lose it so I can come back. And I swear, and I did it. And this is like my receipt for $4.95. And then another. Don't you ever feel like we're beyond this? We're in the software space now. We're competing with Dropbox. We're not competing with Joe Schmo and his ebook. And you're the guy who bought the app that got me.
Yeah.
I asked you that. Do you ever
Yes.
feel a little embarrassed? We're still in the info market space.
No, I think it's like the essence of what we do and what Russell does is we love education. We love teaching people. I mean, the software is like the back end, right? But we're not software people. We sell software, but we teach people. All these people here and all the people at all of our events, like they just want to learn how to do it better.
I don't believe it.
Okay.
I believe it in him. I don't believe it in you. I believe that for you, it's the numbers. Here's why I don't believe it.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your eyes and like,
Yeah.
I'm giving the script. I'm good. I'm doing the script. I see it in your eyes. But when I was talking to you earlier, no offense, this is why he does what he does. When I was talking to you earlier, you told me about the numbers, the conversion, how we get you in this sales funnel, how we actually can then, that's the exciting part. Don't be insulted by the fact that I said it. Know that we have marketers here. They're going to love you for being open about it. What's going on here? What's going on that keeping you in the space?
Okay, from my perspective. Okay, so initially it was self-liquidation on the front, which is what I was telling you, right? It was the fact that we were bootstrapped. Like we didn't have money to just like throw out there. We had to make sure that we were earning enough money to cover our ads, right? And Russell had all the trust in the world in me. I don't know why he did, but he did. And he's just like, spend money and just try to make it self-liquidate. I'm like, okay, right? So we just had to spend money and hope that we got enough back to keep spending money.
And self-liquidate means buy an ad today and make sure that we make money from that ad right away, and then software.
Yeah.
And then software is going to pay over time. That's our legacy. That's our thing. And you told me software sucks for selling. Why?
Software sucks. Yeah.
Why? Everyone who's in info, everyone who's in education says, I wish I was a software guy. Software's eating the world. They get all the respect, right? Yeah. I work through San Francisco. They think anyone who doesn't have software in their veins is a sucker.
Yeah. I asked the same thing to myself. I was like running ads. I'm like, why can't I just run ads straight to the offer? Why do I have to go to these info products, right? I want to get it on the software. And then I was like, I feel like it's kind of like marriage. Like it's a big thing to say like, you probably already built websites, but come over to drop everything you're doing and come over here and build websites over here on our thing. And it's like, oh, that's a hard pull, right? But hey, you want to build webinars? Here's a little thing for $5 to build webinars. Now you're in our world. Now we can talk to you. Now you can trust us. Now we can get you over there.
Got it. Okay. All right. And if that's what it takes to get people in your world, you're going to accept it. You're not going to feel too good for that. You're just going to do it and grow it and grow it.
Yeah.
What's your ad budget now? See, now your eyes are lighting up. Like I tapped into it.
We spend about $500,000 a month.
$500,000 a month.
Yeah. Don't tell the accountant. So.
Do you guys pay with a credit card? Do you have a lot of miles?
Yeah, we do.
You
in fact,
do?
Yeah.
How
in
many
fact,
miles?
the accountant came into my office the other day and said, next time you buy a ticket, use the miles.
Are they with Delta? Because I think you guys flew me out with Delta.
Yeah, American Express is where we're spending all our money, so.
Wow. And you're a partner too.
Yeah.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
I don't know you well enough to ask you if you're a millionaire. I'm just going to say congratulations. Give him a big round. Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Wow. You know what? I actually was going to ask the videographers to come up here. I wrote their name down. I got the whole thing, and I realized I shouldn't interrupt them because they're shooting video. But I asked them, why are you, they had this career where they were flying all over the world shooting videos for their YouTube channel. I'm sorry, I forgot their name and I don't want to leave them out.
Dan and Blake.
And they were shooting YouTube videos. They were doing videos for other people. I said, why are you now giving it up and just working for ClickFunnels all the time? More importantly, why are you so excited about it? And I said, it's the way that we work with Russell. And I said, do you remember the first time you invited them out and to shoot something? What was it?
It was the very first Funnel Hacking Live we ever had. And probably 2 weeks prior to that, one of our friends had an event and Dan had captured the footage and he showed me the video. He's like, did you check out my event video? I'm like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I said, who did it? He told me. And so I emailed Dan. And I was like, hey, can you come do that for Funnel Hacking Live? And he's like, what's Funnel Hacking Live? So I kind of told him. He's like, sure. And it was like 2 weeks later. He's like, so what's the direction? I was like, I don't know, just bring the magic, man. Whatever you did there, do that here. And that's kind of been his calling card since. Just comes and does stuff.
Bring the magic. He wants to have those words painted on the Toronto office that you guys are starting. Literally. Because he says, you say that all the time. And the idea is, I want to understand how you hire. The idea is, I'm going to find people who do good work, and I'm going to let them do it. What happens if they wouldn't have done it your way? What happens if it would have gone a different direction?
That's a good question. And I'm not perfect, so I'm going to caveat that by some of my guys, my team know that I'm kind of, especially on the design and funnel stuff, like I'm more picky on that because like I'm so into that and I love it. But what I found is like when you hire amazing people, like Todd, for example, doing ClickFunnels, like the times I tried to do ClickFunnels prior, build it was like me and I'm telling developers like, here's what to do and how to do it. And like, there's always something lost in communication. With Todd, he's like, I know exactly what I would build because I want this product too. And then he just built it and he showed me stuff and I'm like, that's a good idea. And he's like, I did this too. I'm like, that's a good idea. And like, it's so much easier that way. And so when you find the right people, it's not you giving them ideas, it's them coming with the ideas. And you're like, that is a good idea. Go do it. And then it just takes all the pressure off your back. And so for us, it's been fun because I look at, man, the last 15 years of all those different websites and the ups and the downs, like the best people have always stuck. And so we've got 15 years of like getting the cream of the crop. And then it was almost like, I'm kind of a superhero nerd, but it's like the Avengers, right? Where at the end of, when ClickFunnels came about, we had this Avenger team of people and we're like, okay, now we've put in our dues. Now it's time to like use all of our superpowers to do this thing. And it all kind of came together.
Build it and build it and build it up. And then as you were building it up, you then went to Salesforce. You guys invited me. You said, hey, Andrew, we're in San Francisco, your hometown. Do you want to come out? I said, I'm going to be with the family. You said, good. Be with the family is better than hanging out with us. But I still said, what are you guys doing in San Francisco at Salesforce? Because salespeople don't need landing pages. Yeah, you guys will probably find a way for them to need it. Soon. And then I saw this. This is the last video that I've got. There's no audio on it. I want you guys to look at their faces as they're looking up at these buildings, walking through the Salesforce office. Look, they're getting on the motorcycles in the lobby. They're looking all around going, oh, gee. Counting the buildings that are Salesforce labeled, look at that. Like, oh, what are they doing? Not believing that this is even possible. And just stopping, going, this is Dreamforce. This is your dream. What did you get out of going to Salesforce's event? And seeing their office?
Honestly, prior to Salesforce, I was kind of going through like a weird, like a funk in my business because it was like, again, there's the goals, right? So it's like, hey, we're gonna do $1 million. And we did that, and it's like, let's make 10 million a year, and then 50, and then this will hit 100. And like, what's the next goal? Like $1 billion? Like, because like 100 million, 200 million is not that big of a difference. And it was just kind of like, I'm like, what's the point? Like, what's the purpose? Like, we've grown as big as any company that I know. And then last year, Dave and Ryan had gone out there, and they were just telling me stories like, there's 170,000 businesses here, and they're telling me these things, and it sounded cool, but it didn't. And they were going crazy. Like, you have to see this so you can believe it. And I didn't. But there's something about the energy of like seeing something that makes it real. And so this year I was like, I want to go and I want to see Benioff speak. I want to see the things. I want to see the towers. I want to just like understand it. Because if I understand it, it's like, okay, cool. Now we can reverse engineer and figure out how we can do it. And so for me, it was just like seeing it. I think that's what we teach our entrepreneurs too. If your people believe that they can do it, they'll do it. If you believe you can lose weight, you'll lose weight. If you can believe you can grow a company. And like, I didn't think I believed that the next level was possible for us until I saw it. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's not ridiculous. And Benioff's not, I mean, none of these guys are any smarter than any of us. It's just like they figured out the path. It's like, hey, let's look at the path, and then let's look at that, and now we can figure out our path.
And seeing it in person did that for you. And yeah.
Makes it tangible. Makes it like it's like your physiology feels it versus like reading a book about it or hearing about it. It's like you see it and you experience it, and it's like it's tangible.
I told you, I asked people before they came in here, what are you looking for? And a few of them frustrated me because they said, I just want to see Russell. I just want to see the event. And I go, give me something I could ask a question about. But I think they were looking for the same thing that you got out of there. And I know they got it. I'm going to ask them to come up here and ask some questions. And I want to know about the future of ClickFunnels. But first, I've got to just acknowledge that we are here to just kind of pick up on that energy that got you to pick yourself back up when anyone else would have said, I'm a failure as a husband. I can't do this. Go back. And the tension that came from failing and almost going to jail, as you said, from failing and succeeding and failing again, and still, that is inspiring to see. I want to give the whole ClickFunnels family a big round of applause, please, everybody. And I know a lot of you have asked me what's coming up next, and Russell's going to talk about that, how you're going to get to like Salesforce level. But why don't I take a couple of questions from someone? Is there anyone who's been sitting here going, I can't believe Andrew didn't ask that? Is there anyone who has something that's standing out for them? And should we just have them come on stage? We got mics from over there? Okay. And Dave, how long have I been going? Because the connection broke, my timer broke down. It's about 1 hour and 20, right? Okay.
All right, a little bit deeper of a question. So what is something, I know you're strong in your faith, family, God, all around. What's something that's really made you who you are? You mentioned before that made you that you as a marketer with your dad, you're up late watching the infomercial, but what's something that inherently, it could have been experience, maybe a quote in the back of your mind that's just driven you. It could have been something your parents taught you when you were young. What is there, it's kind of a little bit difficult question to look back. There's probably a million things, but what are one or two that really stick out that make you the person that you are?
I have a million thoughts racing through my head. The one that just popped in the front, so I'll share that one. Hopefully it's good. I remember when I was a kid, my dad gave me a job to go clean the car. I went out there and I cleaned the car. I did my best job, I thought, and I came back in and I was like, hey, Dad, it's clean. Can I go play? I was like, come look at it so you can let me go out and play. And he was like, well, is it good? Are you proud of it? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, are you proud of it? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, go work on it until you're proud of it and then come back and let me know. And I was like, oh man. So I go back out and I was like, am I proud of this? Like, and I was thinking, I guess technically I'm really not that proud of it. So I was like trying to do more things and try to clean it better. And then to a point I was like actually proud of it. And I came back and I'm like, Dad, okay, the car's clean now. He's like, you proud of it? I'm like, I am. He's like, okay, you can go out and play then. I think for me, like that was such a big thing because it was just like the internal, like, am I proud of this thing that I'm giving, that I'm putting out there? And if not, like keep doing it till you are. And I don't know, that was like one of those little weird dad moments that he probably didn't mean as a teaching opportunity, but definitely it's been big for me ever since then. Yeah.
Good question. Is there one on this side? While you're finding the person who has a question, Whitney, did you have more to say? You were going to ask more, right? Yeah. Can you get the mic over to Whitney, please? She's right over here.
So with your business, what is, back to like when you were first starting, I kind of want to know, what's the one thing, like when your business was really hard, when things were really struggling, what's the one thing that kept you going? That was just in the back of your mind. And then I have a second part of that is, what would you say was your biggest failure, and what was the greatest lesson that you learned from it?
Okay. Those are easy questions.
Biggest failure.
Oh man.
Give me a sec. Are you going through that now, or you are? What are you going through right now? Can you stand up and get close to the mic? I could see that this is a meaningful question for a reason. What's going on? Be open.
I'm just trying, with my business, I'm trying to get my message out there. I'm just baby parts of ClickFunnels, so I'm just figuring out like how to do a funnel still. But my company is called Creating Powerful Women, and so I'm just trying to teach women how to grow a business while they grow their family at the same time. And I'm doing that right now because I have 3 little tiny girls. So I'm just like, okay, I'm still trying to figure out this myself and then teach women how to do it at the same time. So it's just, I'm still in that struggle phase.
Is it partially because you're feeling like an imposter? How can I tell them what to do? That's what I was saying to you earlier.
Yeah.
How
and like I feel like
that?
I need to have that success level before I can teach women how to go out and do it. But the reason when I found you in the hall and I said I want Russell to be vulnerable and tell like the nitty-gritty parts of the story, and those stories are what make people relatable to you, that's kind of where I'm at, as I realize that I grow a bigger following and a bigger audience when I'm more relatable to them, which I realize I don't need to be up at that level to do that. So
Yeah. So my question for you is, have you been working with women and helping them so far? Tell me like a story of someone you've helped that I'm curious.
So I went through postpartum depression a couple years ago after I had a baby, and a lot of the women that I've been reaching out to, when I shared those stories, those women have been coming to me saying, hey, how do you get through this struggle? I know you've gotten past that, and so I want to hear the hard stories that you went through. And so a lot of the people that I've been coaching one-on-one have been people that have gone through those exact same little things that I have.
Okay, when you do that and you share the stuff with them and they get that clicks for them, how does that feel?
Like I'm fulfilling what I was put on this planet to do.
That's the thing. That's the thing that keeps me going. Like, it doesn't happen often, but it happens often enough that like I crave that. I'm super introverted, so there's always awkward people come to me, but I still love when they come to me and they're like, hey, just so you know real quick. Like last night we were in San Diego, and someone came up to me in the hall, and I was kind of like, I'm nervous to talk to you because you talked to me, and he said, hey, just real quick, you like legitimately changed my life. You changed my family. He started like tearing up, and I was just like, I let myself feel that just for a second, and then I go back to the awkwardness. But for a second, I feel that, and I'm just like, that's what it's about, you know. And I use Voxer for my coaching clients, right? So every time they Vox me and they say something like that, there's a little star button. I star it, and it stores them this huge like thing of all the starred ones. So nowadays, I'll go back and I'll listen to that, and I'll listen to people like 2 years ago who said something about like how something I did affected them. And it's just like, that feeling, because everything we do in this life is for feelings, right? Like it's just a feeling we're looking for. We eat because we want a feeling. We did this because I wanted a feeling. Like we're doing everything for a feeling. So it's like, if I can remember the feelings of the thing I'm trying to get, and I can experience it again, then that's what gets me and keeps me going. And I think that any of us that are lucky enough to have those feelings, like a lot of times we forget about them. It's like, no, like remember that, because that's the thing when it's hard and it's painful and it's dark. It's that feeling that's just like, and you remember that, and you like let yourself experience it again for a minute. And then for me, that's like, okay, I can get back up, I can go again.
Yeah, great question. I'm glad you asked it. How about one more over there? You know what? Yeah, let's give her a big round of applause, please.
I was actually going to ask a little bit about that vulnerability. I was surprised. So I'm big in the SaaS space. I've been to Dreamforce, follow a lot of ClickFunnels. It's pretty rare that you see a CEO want to put themselves kind of on the roasting, side of things. So you're from here, from Sandy. I was just kind of surprised. What was it that really compelled you to want to come back, do this in Utah? When I saw your email, I thought it was a clickbait scam.
Oh, it is. We're selling you something next. Just kidding.
I really thought I was going to come and it was going to be like a video of your face spinning, and it was going to be like, we're here, because I follow ClickFunnels, but it's just really rare. I mean, especially it being down in Utah County. That was kind of unique that way.
Wait, one sec. Does ClickFunnels actually allow me to place people's city in the headline? Like, I want someone from San Francisco. You could. Oh, all right. I get it.
Yeah, it said like Idaho. It said we're in the surrounding areas. It's going out to 8,000 people, limited seating. So, and as a marketer, I was just like, is this the real thing? So I showed up and I was excited to see you. But why come back to Utah? What does this event mean to you? And why want to be vulnerable and kind of open up? And I learned a lot about you personally that was great to hear from a business side. So
yeah, so my beliefs are, and I believe we have the best software company in the world. So I'm going to start with that. But if it's just about the software, then it comes down to like who's got what feature, and people are moving and shifting and changing because of the features, right? Like that's the thing. And when we started ClickFunnels, it was like, no, it has to be more. It has to be like a thing, right? And it's interesting because people who sign up for ClickFunnels, who like click on an ad, they come and sign for. That's why John can't do. It doesn't work that way, right? Because they're signing for a web. ClickFunnels is a website builder, for crying out loud. Like if you boil it down, we are a website builder. That is boring, right? So people don't come for that. They stay for that. Like that's why they stay. That's why they stay. But they come because of the feeling, and they come because of the connection. Like I want to be able to take the videos from here, because if I can get more people who come through my funnels to hear this story, they're going to stick with ClickFunnels because they realize like we have a soul. There's a reason behind this. It's not just a software company who's trying to make a bunch of money. We have belief behind it. And so that's why we do all these things. That's why I still write books. That's why we do videos. That's why we do vlogs. That's why we do it, like this fun stuff, because it builds connection with people, and connection is what keeps people staying, even if some other companies got a different feature than we do, or it's cheaper, more expensive, whatever. And And so that's a big reason why we still do it. And then I thought it'd be fun to come down here, because it's, I grew up not far from here, and it's just kind of a fun thing. We've been working with the Harmon brothers, and we started another project with them, and their family owns the Dry Bar Comedy Club. If you guys have ever watched VidAngel, that's one of their family's companies. And when VidAngel had their little hiccups, they shifted all the programming to Dry Bar Comedy Club. So we used to watch all the comedians here, and I was like, this is like the coolest location to do something like this. And one of the other side jokes, I don't know if I shared this with you or if it's just in my head, but Andrew's famous for doing these big Scotch nights. And as a Mormon, I can't drink Scotch. And I was like, what if we did this, but it's like at a dry bar, and it's kind of this funny like play off of that, and it all worked out. So
Yeah. Usually at events, I do Scotch night afterwards. Say, everyone come back to my room. It's not going to go over very well. But Dave been to mine. He drinks water and feels comfortable. We have good water for Dave. How about one more, and then I want to get into the future.
So you always talk about how, like for ClickFunnels, you guys took like 6 tries to finally make it work, right? And how like most of the time when you guys start something, it doesn't work the first time. That's why you have audibles and all those things. So I was just wondering, as someone that, I'm starting and getting that kind of like that lift, like what is the biggest thing that you see versus like a flop funnel versus something that, kind of takes off and explodes? And like what's the audible or the change that you normally do that, like that shift or the message change or whatever it is that makes it finally take off?
Traditionally, like the difference between a funnel that works and doesn't work, I would say it's probably 50% offer. Like if the offer's wrong, it's not going to, like, that's usually the first thing. Like, is it actually a good offer that people actually want? Second then is usually like copy. So looking like what's the hook thing, those kind of things. And then design's probably third. It's all the stuff that Thayer and those guys didn't like at first. Like the things that, because it's not like we just made up this stuff, right? You saw 8,000 funnels we tested and tried in the journey of 15 years to this, that's like now we know like what things people convert on. And so it's just like looking at stuff that is working and modeling, because like this structure works, this kind of things, but usually something's broken, it's going back and like figuring out like, okay, this offer's not right, people didn't want it. And that was the problem with ClickFunnels. Like the offer, it took 4 or 5 times to get the offer right, and as soon as the offer's right, then it's just like you can tell when it's right because people will buy it. Even if everything else is bad, if your offer is amazing, people will give you money for it, So that's definitely the biggest part. And then from there, then it's copy, and then design, and then all the little things that stress some people out, like me. Yeah.
So we'll come back. I see that there are a few people who had more questions. We'll come back to that in a moment, including you, and I promise I'll do more. But you did tell me about all the different things that you guys are working on now. Of all of them, what's the one that's going to get you the closest to Salesforce level?